What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Hustle Haven. We're your hosts, River the Realtor.
And I'm Tiesha Renee.
And again, y'all, it's season 2. I feel like the vibes are different. It's giving.
We don't gotta keep saying they know it.
I just feel like it's different. I feel different. Tiesha got new hair every week. Like the girl,
I'm not playing with y'all.
she's looking good.
I'm not playing with y'all. Period.
I'm feeling new. I'm feeling brand new.
Dang, I was trying to think of, is there a song you don't like to sing?
Is there anything I'm doing brand new?
Oh, I don't know that song.
Drake.
I don't know that song.
Okay, anyway. All right, y'all. Moving right into today's episode, we are talking about something that I think everyone probably experiences at some time or the other. We're talking about imposter syndrome. And specifically, we're talking about how we can build confidence and find confidence kind of in those times where you might be overcome with imposter syndrome. So that's it. That's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the lows, the highs, and of course, as always, give you guys solutions and tips to navigate through that. So Tiesha, can you please break it down for the people? Explain to them what imposter syndrome is.
My definition of imposter syndrome is like when you feel that you're like not deserving or you shouldn't be in a certain position or a certain place because of XYZ.
Yeah.
It could be because of your background, because of, how you think about yourself, all these good things. It's like you don't feel like you deserve it. So you are basically minimalizing.
Yeah.
Did I say that word? Minimizing
Okay.
who you are because you don't feel like you deserve to be there.
Yeah. I'm going to take it a step further. I think a big part of imposter syndrome is like really just kind of feeling like you're having to pretend to be something to fit into certain spaces, or that you're not competent enough to fit into certain spaces because of certain things. And like, again, as simple as it sounds, you feel like an imposter. Like, I shouldn't be here.
I'm not supposed to. Why am I here right now?
Yeah.
Have you ever experienced that?
I think so. So. I think I would
Give
say
me the story. Give us the story. Give us the tea.
So I feel like I went to a PWI.
Ooh.
And I think,
sorry.
I'm so sorry. The money was calling. It was calling my body and my soul. But I went to PWI. I was also raised on the south side of Chicago. I went to a predominantly Black high school. I went to Morgan Park High School at that. Shout out to the Mustangs and the Mustangs.
Shout out to the Mustangs.
But Morgan Park was very much... it was that, okay? And so I think I had a little bit of a culture shock going to Mizzou and just kind of being around a different demographic of people. And granted, I've always been in diverse spaces. I think being in high school and, the area that I grew up and stuff like that, it was just very different for me. And so I remember, like, even though we did have like a good Black community there, the school, the professors, the organizations, they were predominantly white. I am not a white woman. That's just kind of what it is. And I felt like even though I was very educated, very successsul, I still am the way that I am, y'all. When I say I'm from Chicago, I mean it. It like
she never gonna let you
off
forget
my
it.
skin.
She's never gonna let you forget it.
And I can't. I literally cannot let y'all forget it. And so I feel like I would be in certain places and spaces where it's like internally I did feel like I belong, but when I kind of looked around, I also felt like I shouldn't be here. And it's like, why though? And I think just being around a different group of people, like sometimes it just kind of made me feel a little bit smaller, even though I have like this larger than life type of personality, because I felt different. I didn't know if I would be accepted. And then you start kind of internalizing those things and kind of making yourself feel like, okay, I shouldn't be in this space. So I feel like that's kind of like when I think about imposter syndrome that I felt, that's probably like my biggest example.
Oh, that's so interesting, because I feel like in that regard, in that respect, I don't think I've ever experienced it like that. And I might have to attribute that to me. I'm from a small town full of me, and went to an HBCU. And I feel like when you attend an HBCU, it's just like the way they build your confidence up.
Yeah,
like I feel like it's like I can walk in, and I have, like, I've been to many from my internships and many like conferences, and even in my career, like when I'm in a space and I'm the only person in that space, like it really makes me feel good. Not that I want more people there, but it's like I'm here. And again, I'm going to show you, like, I can bring value, and then thinking of ways of how I can get other people like me to get in this space as well.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
That.
So I feel like in that regard, no, but in the regard of transitioning to social media, transitioning to being a business owner in real estate in particular, estate in Atlanta in particular, I had those moments of imposter syndrome, as in, am I trying to be like somebody else because they're at this stage?
Yeah.
Or am I being who I am, who Tiesha is? Like, in that regard, I had to take a step back and say, I'm feeling like this isn't authentically me.
Yeah.
So in that way, yes.
Okay, I like that you said that too, because I think social media and imposter syndrome, those two things literally like coexist in the same bubble.
In today's world.
I remember when we first started in real estate, and I remember just kind of like seeing all the people who I felt were prominent and just knowing who I am. And again, social media is very like fake, right? Just fake because
So
you don't
fake.
really know these people. You just see the content that they're putting out.
Right.
And I remember seeing the people who I kind of like gravitated towards the most. And I'm like, I am not like this.
Yeah, I can't do this.
I am not this like chummy, like, hey girl, hey. Like, that's not me. Like, no way,
yeah,
Jose.
but then you feel like you have to kind of
I feel like I had to be like that, though.
to get to that certain point.
I started feeling like I had to be like this bubbly, girly, like over, oh my God, da 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 da. And it's like, girl, I don't even get my nails done. Like, I'm just, it was just very weird for me. And I feel like for a really, really long time, I kind of struggled with feeling like, is this the right career for me? Like, do I even fit into this space? Because I don't look this way. I don't act this way and things like that. So I would ask you, how do you feel like, how do you think that comes about? Like, where do you think that really comes from when you start feeling like that?
It comes from your mindset.
Okay.
I feel like as women in particular, I can only speak for me. I am not a man.
Period.
And I don't know if it's prevalent among men, but I do think for females, I've talked to like a lot of people, a lot of women, had a lot of conversations, and you get inside your head so much.
Yeah.
Where especially when you're not where you want to be in life. It's like, dang, like, do I need to be doing this? Like, am I not doing something right? But it's like, you're doing what you do, like what you are comfortable doing. And at time, it's going to grow. Like, it takes people time to grow. So I think it's all about your mindset and like knowing like where you are in your process.
Yeah, not to like be repetitive, but I honestly think it's the day and age we're in. I think social media is really the root of a lot of this because comparison is a thief of joy, right?
Yes.
I feel like the more that you see, the more you like just humanly like, oh, I start to compare myself to this, or I start to see, oh, they got 100 likes. I only got 20. Okay, they had 4 closings. I only had 1. And I think that because we're in a world where everything is just visual now, everything is kind of in your face. Oh, you can't hide from nothing.
Okay.
Like,
I miss high school when I don't think social media was nothing when I was in high school.
Right?
Like, I don't even
sneaking
remember
on MySpace. Like that was about it. Bebo and Tag.
And I don't know about Tag, but Bebo. And I don't remember it being like
they wasn't on Bebo like comparing.
Nobody was in Bebo.
Bebo was just chilling. Like it was just like really cool. I just think that because everything is so in your face now, and you're kind of forced to see everyone's journey. You're kind of forced to see what everyone else is doing.
And
it makes you
natural
look at your life and try to align with that. And I think that everyone's journey is not going to be aligned. So I think that's personally like why people get into that space of imposter syndrome is because we're so focused on what the next person is doing and trying to compare their journey to ours.
And I think that's kind of where like a mental shift has to happen as far as like I'm looking at this person or I'm in this space and yes, I'm here, but don't ask yourself, why are you here? Or like, why am I doing this? Ask yourself like, not ask yourself, but tell yourself like, I deserve to be here. Like, okay, I'm so happy she's there. Like, what do I want to do to reach this goal? Like, I don't have to do exactly what you did. But what do I want to do that makes me comfortable, that makes me feel like I'm being my authentic self, that makes me feel proud, you know what I'm saying, of what I'm doing to get to that next step.
Yeah, I want to dig a little bit deeper in that because I think in just like understanding where it comes from and why people have imposter syndrome, I do kind of want to talk about like how we coach ourselves through that and how we do start to build that confidence. And I like that. I think positive reinforcement is a really good starting place. I think that if you cannot positively reinforce yourself, how can you expect the rest of the world to?
Exactly.
I think it really is an internal thing of saying like, you know what, River?
You are that girl.
You did that. Like
that
I have moments where I have to like look myself in the mirror like, I ain't gonna lie, girl, you ate that up. Like, girl, you ate that. Like, I have to be my own biggest cheerleader because I feel like a lot of times, like, people will ridicule you and, like, pick on those small things. And if you're not celebrating those small wins for yourself, like, that's kind of where it starts. So I think, again, one of the first tips I would say in terms of building confidence is build it for yourself. Like, stop looking for the rest of the world to uplift you and stop looking at the rest of the world to, like, be your biggest cheerleader when, like, you're the person that sees the work firsthand. Like, pat yourself on the back.
Yeah.
Like,
but I also think not looking at the world, but the people that are around you make a huge difference in that as well. Because I know of different scenarios where like people have, family members or friends that just kind of always down in them.
Yeah.
Always like whatever accomplishment you reach is still not enough. And I know that can be tough. So just kind of looking at who's around you, who's in your ear, who's influencing you. Like when I get off the phone with River, I feel like that girl. I feel like, you know what? I'm ready to take on the day.
Period.
And I hope you feel vice versa.
I do. And I think you should assess your circle. I do like
assess
that.
your circle because they are pouring into you whether you realize it or not. And if they're pouring into you negatively, that's going to affect you. You're not going to, you're not going to be happy. And they're pointing to you positively, then you can always look at your situation or wherever you are and just know that, I'm here right now and I got some more growth to do.
Yeah, we value the opinions of the people that are close to
Yes.
us. Like to Tiesha's point, like if I need a real like advice or opinion, I'm gonna call Tiesha. And so I feel like in that same regard, because I look at you so closely for advice, if you are the same person that's like kind of making me feel like, I don't know, girl, should you be doing
sure you should have did that?
Then it's like,
You
I'm
only
gonna
had 4 closes, not
like,
6.
That's it. You're gonna start questioning it. So I think assess your circle and making sure you're surrounding yourself with people who want to see you win.
Exactly.
People who want to see you do well in that space because y'all hate.
Ooh, yes.
That underlying hate is real. I feel like every friend got a hater. Like every friend group got like that one friend that just be hating.
I don't know. Maybe
it may not be like your direct friend group, but like it's that person that's around that's
negative
always
nasty. Like every time I talk to you, you are so negative. Like, girl,
quite literally.
Go cheer up, eat a cookie or something. I don't know, but no, that's serious. Like people don't realize like you got that one person that's like always bringing you down.
And
like,
that's
you
the thing that sticks with you the most.
Yes.
That's the thing.
3 people can tell you how good you're doing, but this one person who's always like, no, that's not good enough. And it's like, you feel like you got to prove something to them.
Yeah.
Like, okay, she ain't think that was good enough. Let me do this. Like, girl, I don't give a D. I can't say that word.
I don't give a D.
I don't give a D. I
love
care.
that. I love that. Assess your circle, right? I think another thing in terms of like how you build confidence, I think it's just like coming up with a game plan that really aligns with your goals. I think a lot of time, like if you're working aimlessly and you don't really have anything that you're working towards, that's when I think we start kind of questioning our worth in a certain space and questioning whether or not we should be where we are. So I think really outlining what your goal is and then what you're going to do to get there so that you can always, again, reassure and reconfirm to yourself, like, I am on the right track. I think we look at other people's journeys again and we try to compare that, but like let's say Tiesha's goal is to have 6 closings and that may be good for her, but mine may just be 3. And if I'm so closely watching her and her goal is going somewhere else, of course I'm gonna always feel like I'm not doing enough. Of course I'm gonna always feel like I'm not good enough to be in this space because I'm trying to compare my journey to get to somewhere she's trying to go. And that has nothing to do with me. So I think outlining like a clear goal and really understanding your purpose is really gonna help you build that confidence to know, like, you know what, I am doing enough and I'm doing good at what I'm doing.
And I also think is when you're talking about your goals, making sure that the goals that you're working towards are genuinely your goals.
Oh my God, I have to tell you this. So there's a commercial, y'all. First of all, I watch TV all day. It's like a progressive commercial, right? And the guy is like playing football and the dad is like on his case, like, you need to do this, you need to do that, like trying to make him, and he just wants to sell insurance. And so he gets to the game and the dad is like, he's like getting fed up. He takes his stuff off and his dad's like, what are you doing? Like, you're leaving right now. You're going to miss out on your dreams. And he was like, no, Dad, I'm going to miss out on your dream.
Period.
Like, he just wants to sell the freaking insurance. And I say that because I feel like that's the thing. Sometimes we work so hard for goals that we don't even care about.
Exactly.
Goals that don't even belong to us.
Exactly.
You working so hard to achieve someone else's goal for you is nasty work. Diabolical.
Nasty work, and it's never going to be, you're not going to be successful.
It's never going to be fulfilling.
You don't have the passion for it. And when you don't have the passion is, I feel like, one of the key ingredients. Okay? Of not only feeling confident in yourself, but growing your business and growing it to be to whatever landscape you want it to be. But yeah, I think like you need to make sure the goals that you're setting are the goals for you. Because a lot of people, again, people in your ear, your family, your parents, you probably got that degree in biology and feel like, I got it in biology, so I need to stick to it. No, I know a lot of people who got degrees in whatever and are working in something completely different because they learned that that's not their passion. You know, it's unfortunate we had to pay thousands of dollars to figure that out.
Yeah, no, seriously.
But it's like, don't feel like you have to be stuck in this one space, in this one place because you're doing it. Like, you can do whatever you want to do. You can have 5,000 businesses if you want to. If you can manage it, then you can do it.
I think that's a really important thing. And I also like that in terms of like business because I feel like a lot of times we try to keep our businesses in this one lane.
Right.
Or we try to focus in on doing this one thing because that's what somebody said that we were good at. Oh, Tiesha, I love that you do whatever, new constructions, like that's what it is. And so that's all you got to do.
Yeah.
I feel like the problem is when you so heavily rely on other people's vision for you or for your business, like you put yourself in a bubble in a space you really don't want to be in. I think really when it comes to imposter syndrome or just any type of like not feeling confident in your business, it comes a lot from other people and you trying to please and fill spaces and gaps that you don't even want to be in. I think being authentic to yourself and what you truly want is like a really, really big thing in terms of how you just alleviate feeling like you don't belong somewhere.
Yeah. And I feel like on top of that, kind of pivoting off a little bit, is don't forget to celebrate yourself. I think you really get stuck in that imposter syndrome when you're just like continuously feeling like you're not doing enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's say you wanted to sell 3 houses, but okay, you sold 1. Okay, some people don't sell 1 house a year. Celebrate that. Like, celebrate those small wins. Celebrate the small progress that you're making, because at the end of the day, that's what's going to keep you uplifted. That's going to keep you motivated, and that's going to keep you feeling like you deserve it. Like, I deserve to be here. I deserve this title. I deserve this salary. I deserve this business. I deserve all of these things because I am putting in the work and I'm seeing the fruits of my labor.
I remember when Jayla, shout out to Jayla Head, remember she came up here, she was talking about something about buckets.
Yes.
And she was saying something about putting things in different buckets. That's kind of what that reminds me of. I do think that one thing we do forget to do is just like celebrate the things that we did accomplish. Like, it is okay that every goal you set forth for yourself. Actually, Tiesha taught me this. She told me that a goal should never be something that you just know for certain that's going to be like,
you have to make it hard goals.
Make it hard for yourself so that you can actually be working towards something, pushing towards something. And I think that it's okay that if you set a goal and you don't hit it, that you still did something right. You made those strides. And then you just kind of
think about what was the reason you didn't hit it. And then do the opposite the next time. Life is all about growing. I feel like while you're growing, at points we're going to feel like, okay, do I deserve to be here? And it comes from your background too, if you're thinking about it. But always remember, if you're in that space, and I'm pulling out my Christian card, and everybody might not be Christians. If you're in that space, you're in that space for a reason, and God put you in that space for a particular reason, whether it's for a season, whether it's for long-term. God has you in this space so that you can learn something and you can take away something from it. So look at it in that, I don't know why I'm here. I feel like I may not deserve it, but let me shift my mindset. Let me think positive. Let me look at the good side of this and realize, why am I here? Like, get that fact, I guess you can say. Is that the right word?
Yeah, no. I kind of want to take it a step further. I feel like these are great tips and tricks to make sure you avoid being in this space. But I kind of want to talk to people who this may already be resonating with them. Because when we first talked about this episode, I was like thinking about examples and wondering, like, have I ever felt like this? And so I feel like if this is something that's resonating with you and this is the space that you're in, I think the first
space
thing
that you're in right now, today. Okay.
I think it's about one, acknowledging. I think a lot of times we're in spaces and we can't really figure out where we are. And I think that if, again, this is resonating with you, understand that, okay, this is normal. Yeah. And that when I'm developing a business or developing as a person, these kind of things can happen. I think, one, you need to acknowledge it. But I think, two, I think you need to actively move forward and figuring out, okay, how did I get to this space? And how can I start moving these pieces around? I think getting stuck in this space is kind of scarier than even feeling like it could happen to you. So I feel like if you are somebody who's currently stuck in this space, start assessing what's going on in your personal life and be okay with saying, like, hey, you know what? I actually feel like that too. Because I think it's very normal, especially being young and being entrepreneurs. I think this is something that more often than not you're going to experience.
Yeah, I remember when I was in that space, one of the things I did was I remember taking a long walk and I was like, I'm not happy. I'm not feeling like Tiesha right now. What is this? I just got my notepad down and I wrote down my thoughts and my feelings. What does Tiesha love? Like, what excites me? Like, what makes me feel whole?
I love that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what makes me get there? And that kind of led me to real estate, which is crazy. But once you do that, you'll kind of figure out if that list doesn't contain whatever you're doing at that moment, then
you need to pivot.
Then you need to acknowledge and you need to make the necessary steps to get out of that space. So I think at first, like, acknowledging it and working toward it, writing down the things that, make you happy, the things that make you feel whole and as your true self. And then from there, it's kind of be, you have to take it from there. It's in your hands. We can't get you all the way there.
Yeah, I think you got to make sure you do better. So all in all, I think that as young business owners especially, imposter syndrome is just one of those things that's inevitable. Yep. And I think it's something that you don't be ashamed of, because I think we all go through it. We all go through it.
At some point, and multiple times. It's not just it happens one time. And it's like, oh, it's gone.
Yeah.
It's going to happen again and again as you grow, as you shift, as you pivot. It's going to happen, unfortunately.
Every time you get into a new space, I feel like there's something else that you can compare it to.
Right.
Every time you achieve a new goal, there's the next thing that might beat you down. So I think that everybody who is in this space or going through this space, build your confidence, work through these things, and make sure you're just being very aware and acknowledging what emotions you may feel. I feel like business and mental health are like those two things that really go hand in hand. I think a lot of times it can put you in a place mentally that, like,
can be draining.
Man, what? Make you want to quit. It's like, make
you gotta remember you
the
that
hustle
girl.
is over.
I have to look at me and like, hold on, Tiesha, hold on.
You are that
girl. You are that girl.
You are that girl.
You are a boss. You are smart. You know exactly what you're doing. You are skilled in your field. I had to tell myself.
Yeah, and I think affirmation is good. So anybody feeling like this, send it to your friends. Make sure you check on your good friends and make sure that you uplift them. Yeah, and acknowledge what's going on around you guys. Imposter syndrome is real, but it doesn't have to stay that way. So we hope you got some gems from this. We hope that this helped you guys build a little bit of confidence, and we hope that you guys can share this with the next person to make sure that they're not feeling that same imposter syndrome that we kind of have been through in our businesses. All right. Well, thank you guys again for tuning in to Hustle Haven. We appreciate you. Make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.